So if you look at what this task that you did last week, okay, let's just go through it once again. What we did was we created a native IPv6 network, okay. We had our switch, we had our PCA communicating with PCB through a router consisting of two connections. For PCB, it was connected to Gigabit Ethernet 0, and for your PCA, connected through the switch to Gigabit Ethernet 1, okay, giving these relevant IPv6 addresses, okay. Now, most of you managed to make a connection, except the issue was with the switch. If you remember, the VLAN couldn't get out of the gateway, okay. Giving the gateway address was an issue. So, I told some of you to try and fix it in both the groups, but none of you could. So let's just explore this. Okay, so there is my router, and here's my switch. Okay, and here's my PCA and PCB. Okay. Using a straight through cables, fast Ethernet. Is it connected to which one? To 6 and 5, okay. To 6. Actually, you can connect to anyone, just following the topology. All right. Now what we do is we move from here and we go to the router, okay. Nothing new. Whatever you did last week, I'm going to do the same thing, okay. If I make any mistakes, please point it out. Okay, enable. Let's just make it wide. So we can have look at, while configuring, we can have a look at our router. We can see when this red color will become green, it will be up and running. Okay, so configure your router. So remember that if we go here, just a quick note, your 0, 1 IP address is 2001 DB8 is the account. Subnet is 1, and yeah, we reserve 1 as the address for our 01 Gigabit Ethernet 01. Okay. So this was our here, the address here. Okay. And the address here was 00. Correct me if I make a mistake. Okay. This is from my memory. 2001 DB8 ACAD. Here we gave A, correct? Yeah. And 1. Okay. So this was the address given to your gigabit 00. Okay. Your PC1, what was the address? Remember, this is a native IP version 6. We are not going to dabble in IP version 4, only IP version 6, although you can give both addresses. Okay. Subnet is same, A. This one was 3, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes. Okay. So this was the IP address, sorry. This was the IP address given to your PC1. Let's name it properly, PCA. Sorry, PCB. And your PCA, right? What was the IP address given for this? It was, again, 2001 DB8. I can't. It was the same, subnet 1 and number 3, correct? The switch, what was the switch? The switch was your VLAN 1, if I'm, yeah, it was your VLAN 1, which was 2001, yeah, DB8, ACAD, subnet 1, and B, okay? Yes, okay? So the connections and everything was okay. The only thing we couldn't do was make a ping from here work, okay? For some reason, we could not, I mean, I told all of you to explore and find and, do all you could. But most of you came back to me and said that, of course, you had a valid reason, but you didn't search enough to find out how do I give a gateway for this? Okay, because in IP version 4, we can just straight away type IP version 4 default gateway, mention the IP version 4 gateway in the switch, and then it goes to that gateway. But in IP version 6, what would be the similar or relevant command to do that? Okay, now before we change, let's just go and give the same commands as before. Okay, so conf t, now I'm in the configuration mode. So let's start with interface 00. Okay. Here we are, IP version 6. Address is 2001 DB8 ACAD A1. That is my router address. Okay. Don't forget to mention 64. That means 64 bits reserved for network address and 64 for host portion. Okay. So now when you did this, your global unicast address, which I'm giving over here, and your link local address, you give differently. But what you can do is you can actually give it in the same place. Okay. So, just save up time. FEAT 1. Okay. And, both the sections here as well as here, the link local address that we give is the same. Okay, which is okay. It still works. There. Link local. Okay. No shut. Now, the moment I type this section should be up and running. Is it? Yeah, there you see it's green. Change from red to green. Okay. So this is done. Interface G001. IP version 6 address. Yeah. 2001 DB8 ACAD. The subnet here was 1, correct? 164. Okay. Again, just like before, I'm going to just give the link local address as well. Okay. Link local is the same. FEAT 1. Link local. Okay. Remember, link local, you don't have to statically give it. It is automatically given. Okay. But at the same time, you should remember that you can also give the link local address if you want. Okay. So no shut. Keep your eye over here. This is supposed to get green. Okay. And there it is. Okay. Okay, just one last thing that we have to do. Remember, for your router, you have to make sure that you enable unicast routing, correct? So what you do is, again, conf t, and just type IP version 6, because by default, the router is not enabled, okay? IP version 6, unicast routing. There. Now it is enabled. It's done. Okay. So if you don't enable this, that means the router will only accept your IP version. It will only accept your IP version 4. Once you do that, now you can actually route IP version 6 addresses over here. Okay. Okay, that takes care of it. Now, let's go to our PCA desktop IP configuration. You can see that by default, your PC with IP version 6 has got a linked local address. Okay. This linked local address, you can even use it to ping. Okay. And it should work. See, let's just try. There. Ping. Here's the, sorry, link local address. There, it works. You see, it's pinging itself. So no issue. Okay. Now, we are here to give a static IP address over here, and it's 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1 tree, correct? Now, the default gateway that I'm going to give is my routers, this interface, gigabit Ethernet 001, okay, which is FEAT, correct? FEAT, okay. That was made a mistake. Sorry. Yeah, FEAT. FEAT colon 1. Okay, so there we go. So this is my default gateway. That's what you all did last week, correct? Okay. Now, you should also realize that you can also do an automatic. You see, when I select automatic, maybe I don't want to disturb this. We'll do it on the other one. Okay. Yeah, this is done. Now let's go to the other one, PCB. If you go to PCB, you will realize that if you go to IP configuration, you can also select automatic. When you select automatic, your router automatically, following Slack, it will give you an IP version 6 address. Amazing, with the default gateway. Okay. But we're not going to do that. We're going to follow. We're going to follow. You see, it even follows exact subnet. But instead of giving, tree, it gives something else. Okay. uh, we're not going to do that. We're going to give our own IP address. Okay. Wait a second. Did I type /64 over there? No, I did not. Okay. 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1 sorry 3/64. Yeah, if you don't mention that, it won't store it. Okay, so go back, check again. There, now it's there. So do the same for PCB. Sorry. Please ensure that you don't give automatic, rather you give a static one for this exercise. Okay, DB8 ACAD. Subnet is A over here. PCs 3/64. Default gateway, same, FEAT 1. Okay. Okay, done. Now, before we make any changes, I just save this. Okay, let's say I save it on my C drive inside my temp. Let's say temp. Okay. There's a reason I'm saving it because I want to show you something. Before we configure our switch, let's just go over here, open the command prompt, ping ourselves. Remember, it's a native IP version 6. Okay. Subnet 1, ping ourselves. Okay, the ping is successful, no worries. Now we ping the gateway. Okay, the gateway is 1. Let's ping the link local at the gateway, FE80 1. No issue. Now let's ping the other side of the gateway, okay, which is A. No issue. Now let's ping our PCB, which is 3. No issue. Works like a charm, no worries. You all did this last week and there was no issue. Even from your PCB, ping 2001 DB8 ACAD. Subnet is A. PC is, 3. I'm pinging myself. Yes, works fine. Now let's ping the gateway. Ping the other side of the gateway. Ping PCA. As you can see, the connection is very well established. There's no issue. Okay. So now the switch over here, remember, it's just a connecting device. Now let's go and configure our switch. Okay. See, typing is difficult here because I have a big microphone in front of me. So please bear with me. Now, the first thing we have to do is, especially in switch, just like how you have to enable your unicast routing in your router, in the switch also, you have to ensure you tell the switch that I want you to be enabled for IP version 6 as well as IP version 4. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do with my switch. Okay, so there we go. SDM prefer dual IP version 4 and IP version 6. Okay. Now here the thing is, if I press question mark to see what commands are there, it says only default. So here when you look at your switch, okay, a 2960 switch, there are other options like routing, like VPN, but here it only shows you default. Okay, so you have no other choice but to type default. Okay, so it enables you to do, both IP version 4 and IP version 6. Okay, now let's see. Okay, it says everything is okay. Now all you have to do is reload. Something which all of you did last week. Yes. Confirm. Again, just press Y. Done. Now, once the switch reloads, that means you can configure IP version 6 commands on it. I mean, IP version 6 addresses and also commands, yes. Okay, enable conf t. Now let's go around and give our IP version 6 address, which is for VLAN 1 subnet, which is B. Okay, so here we go. Interface VLAN 1. Okay, so IP version 6 address is 2001 db8 ACAD. Subnet is 1B. Okay, /64. I'm going to give the link local address right here. Okay, I'm going to say IP version 6 address FE AT B. Okay, link local. Remember IP version 6 addresses. You have got a global unicast address and a link local address. Link local can only be used for the local. So don't forget, no shot to manually make it there. Okay. Now let's test. Yeah, if you type show IP version 6 interface brief, there you can see your VLAN 1 is having this IP address you just gave and the link local. Okay, now let's ping. Okay, okay, this is within the network. Observe, I'm doing it within the network. Okay, this Ethernet network, within the network. Okay, so you can see right here, yeah, let's just ping ourselves first. ACAD, subnet 1, okay, and B. Pinging yourself, yeah, 100%. What about if I want to ping the FEATB? No, it asks for interface, sorry. Forget that, okay? So that is done. Now I'm going to ping my PCA within the network, remember? So within the network, I'm going to type 3, which is my PCA. Okay, once again to make it 100%. No worries. Now I'm going to ping my gateway. Now you know my gateway is 1. Okay. So again, it's going to show me 80% first time. The next time it will show me 100%. No worries. Now we know that if we want to go outside the gateway, we want to go to this other interface 00 of the router, we'll have a problem because we have not given a default gateway as far as IP version 6 is concerned. Okay, you see what we have done here? If we say go to the other side, you see, problem. Should be a problem because you have not given a gateway. Okay. There, 0%. Try again. Yeah, so we have an issue. Okay. So what we need to do is give a gateway. So the command, let me first, I need to save. Okay, because now the command, don't do this yet on your computer. Just pay attention first. Okay, so the command to set a default gateway for the switch. Okay, S1 R1. So the command, I'm going to give a default gateway. Okay, so what we do, that one command is IPv6. Okay, root colon 0, and then just mention your global unicast address for your gateway. Okay, and the global unicast address for your gateway is 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1 1. Okay, so this should technically work. Now observe what happens when I do this. Don't do it on your computer, just pay attention. Look what happens. Okay, sorry, spelling mistake. My bad. Okay, pay attention once again. Look what happens. Uh-oh, wrong place. Do I have to type it all over again? Okay, IP version 6. You have to be in configuration mode, okay, in order to keep this command. I thought I was there. IP version 6, root. There we go. Okay, a good excuse for you to see the command again. And then mention your gigabit 01, which is your gateway, the IP version 6 unicast address, global unicast address, okay, which is 201 DB8 ACAD subnet 1 1. Okay, now observe what happens. There, packet tracer stopped working unexpectedly. Okay, please save your diagnostic and all that stuff. Okay, so the moment I click this, it's going to take me to a website and ask me to type out what was the issue with packet tracer, and they will improve the next version and all that stuff. Okay, so let's not do that. It says, do you want to save your dump? No. And then packet tracer stops. Now you know why I saved my file over there. Okay, in my C drive, in my temp. Yeah, here. This is the reason I saved it. Okay, so we have an issue with this. I didn't save the S1 and R1. Okay, so that was the issue that we had. So what we do here, let's try another switch. Let's try a multi-layer switch. Okay, I'm going to bring a multi-layer switch over here. Okay, which is an advanced switch. Okay, it's going to be a switch where other switches connect to. Okay, now what I do is I don't make much changes. I just delete. I just use this as a replacement of this and try the same command. Okay, so what I do is I first delete this connection, then I delete this connection. Okay, that's it. And then I just put it here as a replacement for this. Okay, switch 0. Otherwise, everything else is the same. So make the same connection. Connected to fast Ethernet 6, fast Ethernet 5, connect to gigabit Ethernet 01. Okay, So let's go and do the same thing. No. Enable. Okay. So the first thing, yeah. Conf T. Okay. There we go. Yeah, just like before. STM prefer dual IP version 4 and IP version 6. Okay. Now look at the question mark when I put for this. You see, before you only got default. You remember? Now you have got routing as well as VLAN. Okay. So what I'm going to select routing. Okay. Not default like the last time. So this is an advantage that you have over here. Okay. So then, and now this will only take effect if you reload, just like the previous one. Do you want to save the changes? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now what I do is, now that means I can give IP version 6 addresses over here. Okay. So let's create interface VLAN 1. Okay. IP version 6 address 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1B 64. Okay. The link local address also I'm going to give FE 80::B. Okay. No shut. Yeah, that's already up and running. No shut. End. Okay. Now, just like before, I will be able to ping other places. Let's say ping 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1. Ping myself. Yeah, pings very well. Ping PC A. Pings very well. Ping the gateway. Pings very well. Ping the other side of the gateway, which is A. Does not ping. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing like before. I'm going to give a default gateway on my switch. Okay. So once again, give IP version 6. This is the command. Okay. Route. This is the command that none of you could find. Okay. And it is right there on the internet. You have to search, my dear students. When I tell you to look for something, you have to go and look. So now you give your unicast, global unicast address of your gigabit Ethernet 001, this place. Okay, 2001 DB8 ACAD subnet 1 1. Okay. Now remember last time when we gave this, there was a crash of your packet tracer. But when you use a multi-layer switch, this does not happen. You see, it has been given. Now let's do the same command. Okay, there. I'm going to ping the other side of the router. Okay, this side. That means, can I go out the other side? See, 100%. Now I'm going to ping PCB 100%. Okay, so now it works. Get it, my dear students? So, depending on which switch you use, you can set it as a default gateway to go out. Okay, some switches don't have that feature. Okay, now this is a bit